Grand Rising, happy Wednesday. Wednesday is the day ruled by Mercury. Mercury is the planet of perception, communication, how we communicate. And so I am really mulling over how to communicate something huge that happened to me the other night. I had a really huge epiphany, and I'm trying to move into how do I share that, because it was so powerful for me. And so what that was is, and this happened Sunday night driving back from California, because I was in California again this past weekend, and realizing, because a friend had me watch myself dance. And I don't watch my videos. I don't like listening to myself. And but I started realizing, like, when she had me watch myself dance, I don't feel like I'm watching myself. And she said, "Why don't you feel like you're watching yourself?" And it's gonna make me emotional. I said, because I'll do this. Because she's beautiful. Fuck. That's harsh, right? Because that's me admitting that I don't feel that way a whole lot. And she's free. And maybe it's the freedom that makes her so beautiful. And so it hit me in that moment. Holy fuck. Because that really is, the dancing really is a soul practice. And it is how I get back in my body all the time, because it's so hard for me to stay grounded and stay in my body, because being human is not fun for me. And that is like one of the most sublime things I can do as a human. And so my dance partner actually is my soul. And really connected, ascended people see that when I'm dancing. I've had people message me and say, "I see what you did there." And I was like, "Really? What did I do?" And they've said things like, "I see your soul come out of your body," and it's true. So that's called kinesthetic work, and I actually do that when I'm dancing. And I challenge you to see that my dance is not an invitation for those watching, but I'm actually allowing you to come into an environment that's very sacred for me. And that's why I started sharing in the first place, because there were so many spiritual accounts, women who were sharing themselves dancing, and it was an invitation, and it was very crass and very overtly sexual. And they were saying, "I'm awakening my Shakti," but Shakti is a sacred sensuality, and the sexuality is with self. It's not an invitation for a partner. And our power is within the balance of ourself. And so Spirit told me to share. And it's been uncomfortable to share, but it's getting easier. As you can see, like, it's been more than a year now. If you go back to like the very first videos of me sharing myself dance, it was uncomfortable. And so the epiphany that I had Sunday night is that I need to be that dancing Sherry. See, I'm processing through the throat. That dancing Sherry in every environment. That free, that radically free, and don't give a fuck about out here me, the me that's in all of you me. That's how I actually embody and heal the karma of my Leo, because my South Node is in Leo, okay? And so what that means is that I have to become really comfortable being fire, but being a very visible fire. And so when I realized that whenever I turn it up a notch and just let some of that fire out, a whole lot of people go. They are so triggered by my fire. And I have to realize that Dancing Sherry doesn't give a fuck. But in other areas, she does, because she still holds the trauma of rejection and abandonment. But I need to be Dancing Sherry in the environments that I'm not comfortable being radically free. And so, like wearing a dress. So Sherry used to wear dresses all the time. I was so, because this is an uber feminine body, I was uber feminine, almost to the point of being toxically so. And so it was abused in every way possible. So I became masculine, but wearing like tent-like clothing to like hide myself. And it was actually my daughter that said something, because I had to go speak at an event when I was in medicine. And I said, hey, can you help me pick out something to wear? And she picked out a shorter sweater with like these really form-fitting pants. And I was like, hey, that's ass out. I don't want my booty showing like that. And she's like, that's the point, Mom. Like, when you wear big clothes, all of you looks big because you're so curvy. And I was like, oh shit, you know? And this was my daughter, my teenage daughter telling me this. So I was like, okay. And I still didn't do it. I mean, I wore what she picked out for me and it was uncomfortable. But it was literally less than a week later, I had run into a very close friend of mine in the store, and I was wearing a cover over a tank top and pants. But it was so hot, I took the cover off and ran into the store. I was like, I'm not gonna see anybody. And she kept looking down. I was like, is there something on my clothes? And she's like, no, you look amazing. Like, all of that is under your clothes. And I was like, oh my God, yes, all of this. And she's like, no, I mean like all of this. And so I was like, that's true. Why am I hiding? And so that's the fire that I'm scared to let out. And so wearing a dress dancing was really uncomfortable for me. That's why it was like literally like a 7-second clip. But it was just me pushing myself just a little bit. And I got a message this morning, a private message from a beautiful divine masculine. And he said, you know, I love your posts, because when you post, I know that you're not seeking attention. You are actually pushing yourself to heal parts that are uncomfortable. And I see that, and I see you, and I think you are a beautiful light. And it made me cry. And I said, I've been trying to find a way to make a post about this, like to share this, because I had a talk with another friend and I was sharing this with her. And she's like, I don't know if I quite get it. And I said, well, I said, you take amazing selfies, right? That's your version of the Dancing Sherry. That's when you are radically confident, is in your selfies. So how do you bring that into the you that you're supposed to expose in the human experience? Like, how do you become that all 100% of the time? How do I become Dancing Sherry 100% of the time? Because dancing really isn't my talent. My talent is to be a spiritual teacher, and I can do that in small environments, but I'm supposed to do it like on huge scale, and that's uncomfortable for me. And I am also meant to share my poetry on a huge scale. But if you noticed, I don't ever show my face when I do my poetry. And so that's the buildup. That's what I need to get to. Being able to like orate my poetry for a huge amount of people, because I've done it at open mics and it's uncomfortable. But to do this, like showing my face on these videos, is even uncomfortable. Anyhow, so I've been moving through that energy and also asking for clarity, because I really keep getting messages through my cards and everything that I'm supposed to be traveling and anchoring myself in different grid points. And And so I did breath work last night, and that was my aim, like, give me clarity on that, and how am I supposed to do this? Because that actually makes me slip into the scarcity mindset again, like, will I be provided for? And I don't like that, because I'm comfortable right now, and I know I'm not supposed to get comfortable. Fuck. And the spirit will always push you to the next level. And so now I just had a huge spiritual growth spurt, and I'm coming out of this growth spurt now, and it's saying, yeah, you have to own this, Sherry, like, do it. And you again have to be in free fall, where it's exhilarating but scary as fuck, and you have to let it go. So the message I got last night was to close my eyes and open my hands, right? And it totally brought this whole message of, how is Christmas? Right? Like, you're always shaking stuff. What's in here? Why do we fucking want to know? Why do we even want to explain it? Isn't it better when we hear that? Like, close your eyes, hold out your hands, and then we're like so transported to this energy of showering, of abundance and receiving. And so Spirit said that to me, and it made me emotional, because I was like, fuck, I get it now. So my eyes are closed, my hands are open. And the Ascended Masters for today are Radha. And this talks about reclaiming parts of myself and experiencing harmony. And then Haniel again, yet again. So yes, Haniel and I need to become good friends, because this bitch is showing up every day. Not bitch, but you know. And then Moses, literally this is the second time ever that I've ever drawn this card. And it says, take charge. But by taking charge, the universe means let go. I mean, for real. Like, can they be any more? Like, and then I love when I get this card. Breaking free, liberation. And it's got Salome on the card. Like, how good is that? And believe in the impossible. So here's the thing about closing your eyes and opening your hand to receive. You can't then pigeonhole the universe by saying, is this what it's going to look like? Oh, I want it to look like this. Can it have this? And we have to know that we're always not dreaming big enough. So when you do that, you're actually holding the universe captive to fantasy. And this is the card that really blew my mind this morning. So this is telling me that I am the ancient keeper of the stars, and I'm here actually to anchor my light into earth. And that when I do that, it's for the entire consciousness of humanity. And I've always known that. But this is the part that blew my mind. You are being called to be in different places in the world to anchor this light. Perhaps by taking a trip or living in new locations, in certain locations, you may also find yourself experiencing these awakening symptoms. The more grounded you can remain, the more stable Earth's energy becomes, and the less reactive humanity will be. You're here for a double mission: to grow as an individual and as part of a larger collective that's bringing about the shift in frequency for all of humanity. Trust that you can be in the world, but not of it, and lead a truly glorious life. And so that was my clarity that I asked for last night in breathwork. That yes, all of the messages that I've been getting, that I felt since I returned from Big Sur, that I am supposed to be doing that there are different places that I'm supposed to travel to call back soul fragments. And when I do that, I'm actually healing the frequency of humanity. And so I need to do that. And I have to let go of how is that going to look for me, and start shifting my sessions to remote sessions and offering one-on-one sessions where I'm traveling to, so that those people can have access to me as well. And so I just got to get clear on that. And so Hexagon showed up, and Hexagon brings the message of seeing the beauty in all things. Even the tiniest of things contain beauty. Amen to that. And then Clean It Up talks about removing anything that cannot be taken into this next step. And that I'm very aware of that. But I am carrying old baggage, and I know what they're talking about. I have friendships and loyalties that I'm holding on to that really can't go with me. And part of me feels obligated to create closure around that. And but honestly, I'm always the one reaching out. So if I'm the one always seeking and reaching, does that really require closure? Because there's no seeking or reaching on their part. And so if I just cut it loose, it's like releasing the sandbags off a hot air balloon, and I can again reclaim the loft that is mine. And Herderite is the stone. And evolution talks about moving into the next, but letting go of what I think it's supposed to look like. And it's a storm stone. So the storm stone, of course, is for all chakras. These are two different pieces of Herderite. This one is golden Herderite. And these are like obscenely expensive, but beautiful and powerful stones. And this is called blue-gray Herderite, but it almost looks lavender in the camera, but it's really like an ice blue. It's almost like an like celestite blue, but it's like gray blue. It's really pretty. There, it looks more blue from the distance. Those are both Herderite. And so the blessings of Al-Hakim talks about, I will receive the support for surrender. That it's okay to be afraid to let go. But by using my cerebral mind in the planning and expectation, that basically what I said, that I'm actually not allowing all of that. But it says that I will be gifted the gifts of healing, prophecy, insight, and the capacity to surrender. So yeah. And those are all my gifts, but surrender is the hardest. And so it says, please receive this gift and this blessing, because it will happen on a soul level, and become curious to open. So thank God. And thank you all for sharing this space with me and gifting me your most valuable commodity, your time and your energy. I appreciate you. Thank you. And I am sorry for any misalignment that I myself have caused. Please forgive me. Thank you for this opportunity. I love you.